So after your whole day work or the exercise that then kind of puts you into, right? You go out and have a nice dinner and you're like relaxing outside in your patio looking at the sky, right? So I'm going to talk about something that you will think at that time and kind of exercise your mind and not your body, right? So let's look at what I was just spending some time with my friend once, and I started discussing a few things with him, looking at the sky. It was a clear sky night, and we started venturing into how much we know and what's this sky all about, right? How many of you have really spent time looking at the sky? It's an interesting feeling, right? I'm not sure how much of you really understand what you're seeing there, but it's an interesting feeling, quite relaxing. So we started talking about it, and eventually we kind of started discussing how much we really know. Are we really knowing everything today, or we probably don't know a lot of things here? The thing started like, are we part of a big bang? Like, is all this like a big bang? How many of you know about Big Bang? So do you guys believe in Big Bang?
No. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
All right. So this is exactly the kind of conversation we were starting into. So what Big Bang says is, there was a Big Bang long back, and the bang is still going on. Right? Wow. The bang is still going on, and we are the cause of the bang. And it goes on. The bang keeps going on. So that's the kind of explanation Big Bang gives. So we started talking about it. So it's like, how did this guy really think about Big Bang? So the thing is, one guy goes on an interstate, looks at the car, takes a picture. He sees a car coming towards him, and he sees a blue tinge on his picture. Then he looks at another car going away from him, takes a picture, and he sees a red tinge on that picture. Right? I think you guys might have realized that. Based on that tinge, it seems anything that's going away from you, you see a red tinge. Anything that's coming towards you, you see a blue tinge. So this guy goes home, looks at the telescope, picks up his telescope and starts looking at the sky, and he sees everything has a red tinge on it. With this basic thing that he sees, he starts concluding that means everything is going away from us. As the time is going away, as the time is passing, everything is kind of going away. Simple observation. And then he reverses the time. So what happened in the past, let's think about it. And he sees everything going into one single spot, right? And then he comes up with this Big Bang theory, saying that everything just came out with a big blast, and the blast goes on, and it's still going on. We are expanding. So that's the kind of theory that Big Bang kind of tells us, and we are like all created because of this bomb blast, so to say. Right? The bomb blast is happening. You and I are living in the bomb blast, right? And the blast is still happening. We are having a Toastmaster meeting within the blast. Nice to think, right? So, eventually when you venture more into it, you start seeing certain things that are in the sky, which are really not stars. They're actually a galaxy. I'm not sure how many of you understand galaxy or have read about it, but what's the size of an average galaxy? That's correct. This much, right? Probably a dot in the whole universe. The universe seems to have like billions of galaxies. So there is one galaxy which is a dot. But what's the size of that galaxy? Normally, typically. You guys know?
No.
A galaxy typically has a size of 100,000 light years in diameter. So let's look back, right? What is one day a light can travel? I mean, if you take your car and start driving, you would probably drive the whole day. If you drive, you will still not, complete something that the light will travel in 1 second, right?
Yeah.
So we are talking about light traveling a whole year. What's that distance? And then we are talking about 100,000 years. Now that's the distance or the size of a galaxy. Okay? And that's the diameter, and the thickness is roughly like 3,000 light years. So it's a little bit smaller in the thickness, but it's more of a ring thing. And everything it circles around actually starts dissolving in its center, which is what people call a black hole. That's the theory, that's a concept that science have found out. And the black hole is another interesting concept. Everything goes inside the black hole, and nobody knows where it goes. Okay? It just keeps going in and in and in. Okay? So that's the kind of theory that we kind of believe in, scientists believes in today. It's amazing when you start seeing such a thing, whether it does it all make sense. So what I was seeing the Stephen Hawking's thing. What he's saying is everything really boiled down into this small thing, one point, and then it blasted off, and then we got all these pieces, and there was this logic, piece. And before the blast, there was no space, right? So there was absolutely nothing. So something came out of nowhere. Okay, and then this universe is expanding like a balloon. And what is it expanding to? That is not part of the universe. If I take a balloon and blow it up, then it has to expand into the space around it, right? I can blow up a balloon that fills up the room, and then you guys have to go up. Right? So I take up your space. But right now what they're saying is the universe is expanding, but it is not taking anybody's space. Actually, there is no space. The space it creates is its space. It is creating space. That's the kind of theory we have. Make sense? So there are stories, what they call this side of the science, they call it theoretical physics, because you can't really figure out very easily everything. But these are the theories they have kind of come up with. And if you see the significance that we carry, in the whole universe, galaxy is like one dot. And as I told you, the size of the galaxy, like 100,000 light years. So a solar system becomes another dot. Within that dot is our planet, right, Earth. And on the Earth, if I see how significant we are, it's like another dot, right? So our significance in the whole universe, if you just see at the galaxy level itself, is not significant. Our galaxy itself is not significant. So forget our significance in that, which is another levels of dots there, right? So you can imagine the significance we carry, and with all this mass, what the theory is saying is we bring all this mass into like one single spot, and then like a magic it blasts off. There is no reason why it blasts off. There is no theory around it, but it blasts off, and this is what creates the rest of the universe. So my thought is, when there is such a story where people say the bang happens, can it be God that created the bang? Why can't we think it's a God that created the bang? And then just like what we do, like programming the program, the God also programmed, okay, let's have like a if then else clause. If there is mass, pull that mass with the force of mg. Simple if then else statement, right? So he put all the rules and the laws in his program, but he's not governing it every time, right? When the mass is falling, he's not governing it. He just wrote this rule and is letting it happen. Simple theory, right? Can it be possible? Because science today is not explaining why the bang happened. So we are free to start thinking whatever we want to think, right? There are more theories like you can, which are coming up, which are like multi-universe, and there are tons of other theories which are coming up where people say that two universes collides and then the bang happens, and they are kind of feeding in the necessary ingredients for this universe to come into existence.